What's up, Fit Fam, and welcome back to the mat. I'm Corey, and today's practice is going to be a 15-minute hip mobility flow. You won't need any equipment, just you and your mat. So if you're ready, let's begin with a mountain pose at the top of our mats. You're going to take a few deep breaths here. And now we're going to sweep our arms up into volcano pose, doing a forward fold, then a halfway lift. Forward fold again, and again, halfway lift. Forward fold, and we're going to do a revolve standing forward fold. And that is going to be like to your left or your right, whichever side you want to start with. I began with my right, and now we're going to switch over to the opposite side. Let's get the body ready, stretching out those shoulders and those sides and those lats. Halfway lift. And we're going to roll the body up one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Coming up, and we're going to find ourselves in a chair pose, the first chair pose of the sequence. Get as low as you can, but always remember to meet yourself where you are. And we're going to do a revolved chair pose. Always remember, you're going to meet you where you are, and where you are may not necessarily look like where I am or where anybody else is. And that's the beauty of these practices, is that we move at our own pace. Now we have switched the revolved chair pose to the opposite side. Now going down for a forward fold, up into another halfway lift. Forward fold, up into our mountain pose, sweeping arms up over our heads. Leaning back just a bit to get a little bit of that deep stretch in that low back and in our abs. Our next pose is going to be a tree pose. Now, I'm going to do a modified tree pose because sometimes you can't always get that foot. As you can see, that was not my most flexible day. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to keep that foot propped onto the inside of the calf, and we're going to hold here for a few moments, a few breaths. That opens up the hip, and now we're going to march that out just a little bit, and then we're going to switch sides. Take the opposite foot, placing it inside of that calf, like right up against the ankle. I'm going to take some deep breaths here. Next, we're going to find ourselves in what's called the standing wind release pose. And I love this pose because I had talked about this previously, about this being kind of a test to determine whether or not your hips require strength or stretching. And so this is an excellent pose to determine that, but this also feels very good. But also be very mindful and pay close attention to whether or not you're feeling pinches in your hip hinge when you lift your hip there, because if you do, just release that and don't worry about this pose. You can kind of do a nice easy forward fold here. If you're feeling that pinch, that means we've got a little something extra going on here. We're releasing that, and we're going to sweep our arms up overhead, coming into our volcano pose. And next we're going to do the palm tree pose, which is the side bend. And I love this pose. It feels so good on the side body. And we can get kind of tight in there, and we can kind of forget to do that. But I love this pose. And this is like a half, because I took the hand down for those who may need to have it down. Or if you want to have them both overhead, you can have them both overhead, whichever feels most comfortable for you. I'm turning back sideways because we are going to go back into a standing forward fold pose, because we're going to prepare to take our first downward facing dog. Halfway lift, forward fold. Take those hands and put them close to the top of the mat. Step, leap, jump, whatever you need to do to get back into your plank and into downward facing dog. We're going to just march it out just a little bit. I love doing that because it really helps to stretch out those hip flexors and your calves and your hamstrings. And you're going to bring yourself down very close to the ground, taking your first Shavasana into that cobra. This feels amazing. Next, we're going to find ourselves on all fours in the tabletop position for some cat cows. We all know how amazing cat cow can feel, especially when your back is tight or you've been sitting a lot. Cat cow feels amazing. We're just going to take a few rounds of cat cow, remembering to exhale on your cat and inhale on your cows. Now take your knees and spread them about mat width apart for your wide child's pose, because we're going to stretch out the entire body with this pose. I love this pose. I do this pose every night before I go to bed and every morning when I first wake up, because it just stretches the body out and I love it. Now gently bring yourself up and we are going to go into a seated frog pose. We're stretching out those inner thighs and those hip hinges from the seated position. And remember, meet yourself where you are. You may not be able to do this, and if not, it's perfectly okay to just stay in child's pose. Or you can also use blocks to help you to put them under your bottom to help give you some support when you are in that particular position, if that is like kind of too deep for you. Now we are going to find ourselves in a seated position. And we're going to be doing seated supine twists, making sure that we are opening up the hips, releasing the lower back. This stretch feels amazing. This is another one that I do every night before bed and every morning when I wake up. It just does wonders for me before I start my day and as I wind my day down. And you can just continue to do the supine twists. Those supine twists really are amazing for the lower back, but they're also amazing if you are having digestive issues or anything like that. They're absolutely amazing for detoxing the intestines. Next, we're going to bring our feet together for a bound angle pose. Get your feet as close as you can to your bottom. I'm doing a little butterfly with my legs. That is not necessary. You don't have to. You can just sit in that pose. The butterflies are to help me because sometimes when I'm in this position, I get this tightness. I have tightness in my hips sometimes, and so the butterfly really helps with that. Now we're just going to do some simple head to knee poses. I am starting on my left side, but I'm adding a bit of a twist because I'm taking my hand and putting it on the outside of that extended ankle to get a little deeper stretch. Again, you don't have to do this one, but this just felt really good to me this day, so I wanted to go ahead and do that. Now we're going to switch and do the exact same stretch on the opposite side. Again, you can get as far down as you can go. It might mean that you're only grabbing the back of your thigh or the back of your calf. Get as far as you can go. Meet yourself where you are. This is not about driving ourselves into pain, because if something hurts, we definitely want to back out of it and do a more modified version until we get there. Just know you will get there with consistency. Now we're going to find ourselves in the easy boat pose. Now this is really good for the core. Now if you have that strength and can lift those legs like you just saw, you can do that for a more intense hold, or it's perfectly okay to leave your heels, your feet on the floor, just holding here for some deep breathing to really activate that core. Came up, and we're going to do a couple of easy boat sits. So we're going to release our back. Again, if you can't do this, it's okay. Now we are finding ourselves in what is called, oh well, first before we do that, we're going to bring our knees to our chest, because I'm going to be honest, my core is kind of burning a little bit. So we're going to bring our knees to our chest and do a couple of twists to kind of just release that tension, if you will, that's inside our core that we just activated with those boat poses. And we're going to just do it on the opposite side again. Do it for however long you need to do it to release. But yeah, I was kind of feeling it there, so I needed to release that. Supine twists just feel good. They really feel amazing. And you can do this from your bed. You can do it on the couch. Again, I do this at night too before I go to bed, and in the morning as I'm trying to get myself up out of the bed. Because listen, as you age, there are certain things that get a little tighter, and you may find yourself needing to release those things. Bring those knees to chest, rocking back and forth, giving that lower back a little bit of a massage. This pose feels great. And it's great, again, for digestion if your stomach's bothering you a bit. And finally, we're going to find ourselves in corpse pose, which is probably one of my favorite poses of all time. I could just lay here indefinitely. You feel free to keep this pose as long as you can, for as much time as you have available, because it is just calming, it's relaxing, it is resetting. But that is the end of our practice today. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat. I appreciate you. And I also want to give a huge shout out to my subscribers. Thank you for flowing with me. If this flow helps you reset, give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications if you haven't already, so you never miss a video. Thanks, and that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.